Today, I'm going to tell you an interesting story about the life of Saint Francis of Paola. Saint Francis is famously known as the founder of the Minims and his great miracles. He was born around 1416 in the coastal town of Paola, Calabria, Italy, from a humble family. His parents were Giacomo and Vienna, who had prayed for a child. When their prayers were answered, they named him Francis, in honor of Saint Francis of Assisi. When he was a child, Saint Francis was known to be very spiritual, and as he grew older, he developed a deep devotion to God. At just 13, Saint Francis entered a Franciscan convent, and in there, he learned how to read and learned things about becoming a friar. His spiritual maturity also grew deeper. He fasted and prayed way greater than the senior friars did, even though he was not yet a professed friar in the order. After 1 year in the convent, he decided to leave and went to live a life of deeper solitude. He went into the mountains of Paola, where he lived in a cave and had no contacts with any human, not even his family. For 6 years he lived alone, devoting himself to prayer and self-mortification, where his connection with God grew deeper. According to some people who knew him, he only slept on the ground or on earth, and he only ate herbs. At this stage of his life, Saint Francis was only a teenager, about 14 to 19 years old, and yet his spirituality and deep connection with God were already remarkable. Though some people who knew him called him out of his mind or strangely crazy, their doubts did not deter him from following the call of God. After 6 years in hermitage, St. Francis came out, and word spread about the young hermit who performed miracles and healed sick people. One miracle story was that of his nephew, who had died from an illness. After the final celebration of the Mass, he asked to bring the corpse to his cell before taking it to the cemetery for burial. There he prayed in front of the dead body, and to everyone's astonishment, the corpse stood up and was brought back to life. This boy was Nicolas Alesso, who would later become one of his devout followers. Another miracle was from a man named Domenico Sapio, who was a woodworker in their town. One day, a pine tree fell and struck him down, leading to his death. Then St. Francis came to his dead body, raised his feet and arms to heaven, and said, "In the name of God, Domenico, arise." Domenico then arose, dusted himself off, thanked him, and even went back to work. This miracle was witnessed by many people, which made them believe in his deep connection to God. Later, St. Francis was able to gather followers, which led him to found the order of Minims, from the Latin minimi, meaning the least. This religious order focused on caring for the poor and sick, offering spiritual guidance and preaching. This order is still running in various countries in Europe and has thousands of followers to this day. In his old age, St. Francis's popularity grew, to the point where even kings and popes would seek his spiritual comfort when they were gravely ill. Though he never became a priest, he remained humble as a lay brother all his life. On April 2nd, 1507, St. Francis died at the age of 91. His death was very peaceful, just as his life had been. Decades after his death, his body was found miraculously incorrupt. Later, he was canonized by Pope Leo X, and today he is venerated as the patron saint of sick people, naval officers, and navigators. His feast day is celebrated every 2nd of April.